welcome back to game number 2, the last game in today's Riot Duo Scrims on Monday. Now in game 1, for those of you who missed it, Neo is the most wanted player. It just means that whoever manages to kill Neo will win a bonus 4 points for their team. Unfortunately, in game 1, nobody was quick enough but the blue zone, so that was Neo out of the game, and the bonus points were not awarded to any player. In game 2, however, they have another opportunity, so we may see some bonus points being given out this time around. We are now starting with a flight path, and it is a western to eastern flight path, starting off at Hospital and ending just to the right of Yasnaya. And here we go, the first teams to jump are Team 29, Deathly Hallows, Baza and Siren. We also have Team 23, which is made up of Peekaboo and I Am Game. We have Team 24, Damo and Susan Jacqueline. We have Team 17, Welshie and Zen Thor of Deathly Hallows. We then have Team number 7, made up of Pencons and Pendevious. And then in the middle, we have teams 28, teams 26 and 15. And like most people, we are just waiting for Team 19 to jump. And they are staying nice and warm and comfy inside the plane at the moment. But here we go. And they have jumped and are moving down south at the moment towards Lipovka. It looks as though they may be flying alone at the moment with no teams heading in their general direction. But saying that, we might have some gunfire from Team 21, which is Char and Alex, along with Team 18, Exo Martian and Exo Queen. And they are going to the prison at the moment, with Team 21 flying in just behind. Martian has made it to the rooftop, and Alex and Char have landed on the floor. Martian at the moment is holding a UMP and a Thompson SMG. And looking at the map, we can see that our first zone is still roughly centre, just edging towards the eastern side of the map. Most of the teams are inside the zone at the moment, with the ones on the left hand side towards west just needing to move in a little. Team 29 at Deathly Hallows have the furthest to travel at the moment, being on the coastal areas, just in the small compounds on the left hand side of the road. We'll still have Team 21 and Team 18 at the prison. We may get some gunfire from Team 15 and 10, who are at Roshawk at the moment, and possibly Team 4 and Team 22, who are at Yasnaya, and possibly Team 14 and Team 7, who are at George. And looking at Team 15 at the moment, which is Cronus and Akram, they have their sights on Team 10, CL Shinobi and Shay at the moment, who's just over at 110. They're choosing not to fire at the moment. Now that could be that they just don't have the angle that they need. Because those players are still moving, they probably don't have such a clean shot at the moment. So we just want to wait a little moment longer if they can and try and get that perfect shot that gives them the upper hand if they then decide to push. And Fuji takes down Zen Venom on the left hand side, and that calls for some spectating. So let's move straight over, and we have Missy trying to get the revive at the moment. And a grenade is thrown, but luckily just manages to miss them. And Fuji is now rotating around on the right hand side. Looks like Venom hasn't noticed yet and is then knocked by Fuji. And that is Venom down, leaving Zen Missy on her own as she goes up against Team 9 and gets a knock on Fuji with the Uzi. And Avery is now going to try and get the revive. So Missy is now rotating round and is taken down by Avery there. So now Avery will try and get the revive on Fuji. They seem to be relatively alone at the moment, so they have got the time to just look around for a bit more loot, a few first aid kits maybe, and then start making a move. But for now, let's go straight over to Team 15, Akram and Cronus, who still have their eyes on Team 10. And here we go, shots are being fired. Akram at the moment does not have a helmet, so that will make him incredibly vulnerable to any shots that come his way from Shinobi, who is just across at 165 and rotating right. And that is Akram taken down by Shinobi there. He just was not inside enough, and that gave Shinobi a clear shot. And that is where rotations can really come in handy, and where things like splits can also be used really effectively as well. Cronus has now got the knock on Shinobi there. So we have one knocked on Team 10 and one knocked on Team 15. Shay has snuck right round the back of them. And if only I could hear what they were saying at the moment. I'm not entirely sure if Akram has noticed Shay. He will do now that she has just moved into the open and is now under Akram, just pushing out to the other side of the building. Is now coming upstairs and will get the kill on Akram there. So we now have Cronus is now moving in. And a grenade has been thrown but didn't do the damage that was hoped for. And we have Shay on the second floor, Cronus just outside. More grenades being thrown in. Looks like Shay is trying to get onto the wall of the roof, just to try and get a different view of Cronus at the moment. Shinobi is trying to come over, still alive at the moment, so that may be an opportunity for Shay to get a revive. And Shay has made possibly a brilliant decision and now gone for the revive. As Cronus doesn't know where Shay is at the moment. And there we go, Cronus is taken down there by Shinobi of Team 10. And let's have a quick look at Neo and Ryder at the moment, who are still by Melter Power now. They do not have any teams nearby. I think the closest team to them would be Team 21 still. Alex and Char. We now have Riot Mystic going up against Jen Fitzy, as that is Team 4 against Team 22. Mystic is right next to Fitzy, trying to get a shot on a Car 98. And that is Jen Fitzy taken down. We've now got Jen Nick taking shots from the rooftop. Now goes prone to get to use some health. And Molly is going in. And Nick just manages to retreat outside of that building just before the Molly hits. But even if he was still inside, it was most likely too far on the outside for him, so it probably wouldn't have hit him. So I think he would have been safe to remain inside that property. But saying that, they did know his location, so it probably was a better idea for him to make a move just to retreat, as they are now searching that building for him. They don't appear to know that he has moved. And in saying that, we now have Team 25 just moving in from the back. We have Wobbly taking down Char, Kermo taking down Alex. So that is another 2 kills for them. We've now got smokes being thrown towards team number 4. A grenade is thrown. But Jen Nick is all the way down the other end of the road. And it looks as though Mystic and Ghost are still searching for the infamous Jen Nick at the moment, who has just managed to escape entirely and is now in a compound by the roadside. But they're now being pushed by Team 25, who are just on the left-hand side, and they possibly could be now leaving them. Leaving team number 4 on their own, as Team 25 now make their way south slightly towards the centre of the zone, possibly coming into contact shortly with Team 14 Sons of Odin and Team 9 Salty Snakes. And we now have Team 28 who are coming up against Team 16. So let's have a quick look at Criminal and Jiggle. And there we go. And Criminal takes down Juicy, and that is a kill for Criminal with the M4. And we still have Team 18, Exo Martian and Exo Queen, alongside them with Juicy 2.0 at the moment. Now, for those of you on the stream who are wondering why I am not able to refer to the current player in Team 16 by his full username, that is because these videos are posted on Omelette and YouTube. And due to the audience sometimes being the younger children, I am not able to use bad language. So I will try and find the best alternative for the name without doing too much damage to it in terms of creative. And here we go. Effie Criminal is now preparing a grenade to be thrown towards Exo Queen. And let's follow it as it goes in. And gets a brilliant knock there, with Queen being taken down by grenade. And Martian is now going to try and get the revive. But they are now being pushed by Criminal and Jiggle, who are now coming up the stairs. Criminal has arrived and is knocked by Martian. And Martian is just taken down last minute by Jiggle there, who is now going to try and get the revive on Criminal. And we still have Juicy over at Northwest. We have Team 22, Jan Nick, possibly making his way in. Looks to be rotating far around the left-hand side. So with any luck, he should be able to avoid any action here. But let's have another look at the zone. And we are now seeing it more centre north at the moment. So a few hot drop locations still remain in play. We've got 70, we've got Roshok, we have half of Yasnaya. And we have the school at the moment. And as always, the majority of teams are in the zone at the moment. We have Jen, Nick and Criminal who are on the outside by Mansion and a drop. We also have Team 3 Riot just coming up from Milter and Shelter. We have Zen Neo who is still in play, along with Zen Rider just making their way past Shelter at the moment. And we've got Team 23 just crossing the zone lines at the moment, along with Team 24. So for now, let's go straight over to Team 26, which is Gen Temp and Gem Raven. And Juicy has just taken down Jiggle on the left-hand side. So let's go right back to our Mansion players. And they are behind a flare drop at the moment. And are both revived. Inside the flare drop remains 19762 and a level 3 helmet. And Juicy is now retreating to the northwestern side at 310. And Jen Nick is over at 275. We also have Criminal and Jiggle who are remaining inside the mansion at the moment. They have no other players nearby. So they do have time to just regroup and rethink their strategy going forward. And with such a medium-sized cluster, shall we say, just grouping together at Mansion. And as we can see now, shots are still being fired towards Team 16. And Fuji and Avery have just taken down a member of Deathly Hallows, with Welshie and Thor going down. But that does still leave Siren and Bazza playing. And now what we are seeing is it's gone slightly quiet on this map as the teams start pushing in. And I can only assume that most of these teams are thinking that they haven't seen Neo on the kill feed yet. So there is still an opportunity for them to get those bonus 4 points. And they are just coming into zone now, as we see on the eastern side. They have Team 23 of I Am Game and Peekaboo there, along with Team 14 Sons of Odin. And we still have Team 22 Jen, Team 28 FE and Team 16 Juicy at the moment, also coming in from the eastern side. And Kermo takes down CL Shay at the moment, with Riot Ghost taking down Salty Snake's Avery. Wow. And Kermo and Wobbly are taken down by CL Shinobi. And you can see the amount of health Shinobi had left. How he made it through that is anyone's guess. And Mystic and Ghost have just taken down the Salty Snakes team, with Fuji and Avery being taken out. And now that we've seen that, let's go straight over to Team 22, as Nick is shortly going to be coming up against Juicy. And here we go. And Juicy manages to take down Jen Nick there. And Zen Neo has been knocked by Pencons. Pen Devious is taken down by Explosion. And that is Neo down, taken down by Pencons. So the Pen team of Team 7 get the 4 bonus points in game number 2. And now let's move over to Team 20, who is lying prone at the moment, just scoping out Chezak from the Gen team, which is Team 25. We have Blocks and Chezak over at roughly northwest. They are inside Rozhok at the moment. And Shay and Shinobi are now moving in again. And that is Shay who gets the kill. On Blocks and Chezak, but we still have Phil and the Don up on the hillside by Rozhok. We have Baza who's just taken down Juicy of Team 16. And Shay and Shinobi are now shooting towards Phil and Don, Team 10 v Team 20. Shinobi has been hit and is now left with around 20% of health. And Mystic has just taken down Don from the building at 60 with a sniper shot. And shots still being fired as Savage and Gemma now come in by a vehicle just around the back side of the hill. And Phil is trying to give chase as they start rotating around the outside of the zone, trying to scout the area and see what they could be coming up with, whilst Phil tries to get the revive on Don at the moment. Smokes have been thrown to block the view of Team 4. We have Shay who's just taken down Mystic with an M4. And I Am Game has just knocked on. And I Am Game then takes down Phil. Shay is now shooting through the window towards Mystic and Ghost. And Shinobi has been knocked, but Shay is there to get the revive. Another grenade is thrown, and damages Shay just a little. And another grenade is thrown. And Pen Cons manages to get a knock on Deathly Hallows Siren on the left hand side. And Pen Cons then gets the kill. And Shay is now shooting towards the Dacia driven by I Am Game of Team 23. And Riot goes to Mystic, have now started moving away by Jeep. We still have Team 23 over at 150. Pen Cons takes down Damo. And that is another kill for Pen Cons. And Mystic has managed to get a knock on Shay, with Shinobi now trying to get the revive. We have Baza, who has just knocked Sons of Odin Deadpool on the left hand side. And that is Baza getting a kill on both Deadpool and Vaka. And Team 10 is shooting towards Team 23 again. One of whom is in the water at the moment, along with Peekaboo. They are now being followed by Team 10, who are now taking shots towards Team 23. Peekaboo is in the water at the moment using a first aid kit. You have I Am Game, who looks to be prone at the moment, but has now come back in and is now using bandages. I'm not sure at the moment if I Am Game has mistaken his Dacia for a submarine, but doesn't look to be making any real effort to get out of the water at the moment. And Savage takes down Shay, with Shinobi now returning fire. Jiggle takes down Jen Raven and Jen Temp, as Shinobi takes down Criminal and is now shooting towards I Am Game, who's on the coastline, and that is I Am Game taken down by Shinobi. And Shay has now used some health, so is safe for now, but will be pushed towards the zone very shortly as Gemma jumps in and gets the kill on Susan Jacqueline there. We still have Jiggle of Team 20 over at 20, now moving in, possibly coming into contact with Pen Cons at the moment, who is incredibly close to Gemma and Savage of Death Defying UK. And we now have Shay and Shinobi going up against Mystic. Jiggle takes down Pen Cons. And we now have Team 4 going up against Team 10. With Shay knocked by Mystic and a Groza. Shinobi is now moving in with an MK14. Mystic is taking cover and is knocked by Shinobi. And that is Shinobi getting the finish on Riot, Ghost and Mystic. And here are our top 3 for game number 2. We have Shay and Shinobi of CL Team 10. We have Jiggle of Team 28. And we have Death Defying Savage of Team 30. And here we go. Shots being fired by Savage towards Shay. And Jiggle gets the knock on Shinobi with a Groza. And that is Shay taken down by Jiggle. So it's now Savage against Jiggle. Savage is just making his way through the water, being pushed in slightly by the zone, as is Jiggle. And there we have it. The winner of game number 2 is Jiggle and FE Criminal with 10 kills. We have Gemma and Savage of Death Defying in second with 1. We have Shinobi and Shay of CL in third place with 11. We have Riot Mystic and Riot Ghost in fourth with 4. And we have Pencons and Pen Devious in fifth with 4. If you have enjoyed the stream, please follow the channel with new content added daily. You have been watching the Riot Duo Scrims on Monday, and all that is left for me to say is please take care, stay safe, and we will see you at the same time next week. Good night, guys, and thank you for watching.